In this lecture, we'll take a look at copying, moving, and renaming files. So right now I'm in my home directory, and for this exercise I've created a new directory called examples. So I'm going to change into that directory, and we're going to start working from there. So the first thing I want to do is create a file called original, put .txt on it, and you'll notice that that file exists. So let's say I want to make a copy of this file. The command to copy a file is cp. You give the original name of the file and then the name that you would like to copy it to. And in this case, it's going to copy this file in the current directory, because notice I'm giving two relative paths, and both of these assume that the original file is in this directory and that the new file I would like created would be in this directory. And there you can see that the copy file was made. And if I take a look at the long listing, you can note that they're the same except for their names. And so that would be a copy of the file. Let's take a look at how to rename a file. So in the current directory, I want to take the copy file and I want to rename it to not a copy.txt. Notice that the command to do this is mv, which actually stands for move. And the secret here about renaming a file is that when you move a file within the same directory, you can move it from an old name to a new name, which is the same process as renaming a file. So if I do move from the original name, copy.txt, and give a new name, what will happen is this file will be renamed within the same directory. So we'll just take a look at the ls, and you'll notice that that file was renamed. So we use the move command to rename files within the same directory. We could also use the move command to move a file. So let's move that not a copy file out of this directory, and I am going to send it to my home directory. And if you remember, tilde is a shortcut for my home directory. So I want to move the file called not a copy.txt to my home directory. And if I look, it's gone. It's currently not in my examples directory. But if I do an ls of my home directory, you'll notice that the file was moved to there. So notice that you don't necessarily have to copy files within the same directory. So a really good example would be, let's clear this, and let's say I wanted to move that not a copy.txt. I'm sorry, let's say I want to copy that not a copy.txt file back into my current working directory. So what I could say is cp, we'll use tilde not a copy.txt, and I want to copy it into my current directory as a new copy.txt. And if I really wanted to, remember that a single dot is the current directory. If I want to be explicit about it, I can put /, but if you leave that off, it's the same as just saying the name, and the assumption is that it'll put it in your current working directory. So now if I look at my current working directory, I have my new copy.txt file, and if I look at the directory above me, you'll notice that the old not a copy is there. Basically, the process of moving, copying, and renaming files is pretty straightforward. Let's take a second to look at moving and copying directories. So right now, my working directory is the examples directory, and from the previous examples, you'll note that I have two files in that directory. So what I'm going to do is go back up a directory into my home directory. So I'm currently in my home directory, and you can see in this directory my examples directory. So let's rename it. When you rename directories, it's pretty straightforward. You just give the name of the old directory, and notice I used auto-completion in that case. I hit tab to spell out examples, and it put a slash at the end of it. I don't need that, but the slash at the end of the name examples is yet one more visual reinforcement that this is a directory. So I'm going to change examples to just call it renamed examples. And if I look at my directory now, and I did an ls-l, you'll notice that examples is now called renamed examples. So it's pretty straightforward to rename a directory. It's pretty straightforward to move a directory as well. So if I wanted to, let's say, move my templates directory into my renamed examples directory, I give the name of the directory I want to move and the directory I want to move it to. And as long as I don't want to rename it in the process, I can just give the target directory. I could also give it a new name in the process. So a quick ls shows me that the templates directory is gone, and a quick ls of the renamed examples directory shows me that the template is still there. I'm actually going to move that back because I don't really know if I need that for anything, but I think it's just probably for like OpenOffice or something. So I'm going to take that templates directory in the renamed examples directory and move it back to my current directory. And you'll notice that now it's back right there. So again, if I wanted to rename this in the process, all I need to do is add a name. If I omit a new name for the file when I'm moving it, that means leave it the same old name. Now let's try to copy it. So let's say I want to copy the templates my examples directory. Let's use that for example. So if I look at ls renamed examples directory, just a reminder there are 2 files in it. So let's try to copy it. Let's copy renamed examples to copy RE, so I don't have to type that as quickly. And notice I get an error. And the reason why is that the renamed examples directory has files in it. And so anytime you try to copy a directory, just like when you try to delete a directory that has files in it, the OS is going to require you to do some additional work to say, yes, I really want to delete this directory with files in it. When it comes to copying directories, the same rules apply. Again, it's because you're kind of maintaining the system hierarchy in your brain, it can sometimes be easy to accidentally copy, a couple gigabytes of data. So the system is designed to make sure you really want to do it. So in this case, if all I want to do is actually go ahead and do that change, I just add -r for recursive. And what that'll do is say, yes, copy this directory and everything inside the directory to the new directory. And if I do an ls of both of these, let's do a ls of both. You'll notice that now they're both exactly the same. And by the way, notice if you put multiple folders on the line with an ls, you'll get output for both folders. So it's a nice way to see if they are the same. So if you want to know more about options for copy and move, it's always valuable to take a look at the man page if you have any questions about how these work.